Well, we can show it. Would you like to see a clip of Paul? Okay, this is from. Well, Paul, you'll tell us about this afterward, but I'm going to show you a little clip because that's all I really have of this. But you remember his first big hit as an artist, right? Yeah, sure. Who said it before? That's right. We're going to show that for you right now.
Really?
Here we go.
Dick Clark?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Hands on the wheel, keep the eyes on the road ahead. We're having fun, sitting in the back seat, kissing and hugging with Fred.
Fred looks a little...
That's all we have, a little bit of that.
That's great.
Otherwise, we have to pay a royalty. So,
Paul, you've been writing all these years.
well, wait a second. Let's talk about that one, that song.
you wanna talk about
You
that?
didn't write that, did you?
No.
That's one you didn't write.
That's the one I didn't write. I was doing demonstration records, that we call them, for writers who couldn't sing. They had to have a way of showing their songs off, so they would hire singers such as myself and for, I don't remember, it was either $12 or $15 to sing the sides. And today, if you want a demo made and you're going to hire a professional singer, it will cost you $200 some odd.
Cash.
Oh, the time, cash. The times they have changed.
So,
That was done at the Little Theater
yes.
here in New York City for
Which is
Dick
still
Clark. The theater is still there.
It's called the Helen Hayes now.
Is that right?
Yes, it's the Helen
Okay.
Hayes Theater, but it's the little theater off Times Square. Remember where Merv Griffin did his show? That's where you did Dick Clark.
Dick
it was
Clark.
Dick Clark's Saturday night show, right?
That's right. The Little Theater, and what we would do after we did the show, because that was pre-taped, is this disc jockey, his last name was Kay, don't remember his first name, he was from Allentown, Pennsylvania. He would pick you up in a limousine after you did the Dick Clark show.
Gene K.
Gene Kay. Gene Kay, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, and they do it in units, in threes.
In three.
Yeah, I think
Wow,
that's...
you cannot miss that. Anyway, he would take you in a limousine out to Newark Airport, and he'd fly you to Allentown, Pennsylvania, where he'd present you as an artist that evening. So you could watch the Dick Clark show at, I guess, 7 or 8 o'clock on Saturday night, and then he had his show, and the artist shows up. It was magic. The only scary thing was you kind of had to do this. You were committed by Gene to do this, so he would play your music. You flew in any weather. And did you guys do the show? Did you do that too?
They were the pilots.
They were the pilots. Then you know that we hit some pretty bumpy air on the way from Newark to Allentown, Pennsylvania, and back. So it was a little spooky. But you did it because that's what we did.
They flew you there?
They flew you there, and then they give you a hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Buddy Dean show, too.
The Buddy, well,
Same thing.
did they do that?
He did the TV show and then...
I'm
he
talking
did-
to the delegates, by the way, in case you wonder who these
Sorry, I didn't mean to
ladies are.
interrupt.
No, that's quite all right.
Some of the bumpiest air.
Bumpy air. So I did the Dick Clark show, the Saturday show, several times. Once I did it in, I guess it was Pittsburgh. It might have been Philadelphia, I'm sorry, I don't know. It was an outdoor show. They needed to grab a kid from the audience to play the part of Fred, sitting in the back seat. And they picked a kid out of the audience who had never done this before, and his name was Bobby Rydell. So I started Bobby Rydell's career.
But tell us about the origin of the song.
The origin of the song was written, actually the writers, Bob Hilliard, who had many hits, and Lee Pockris,
Lee Pockris.
who had many hits.
You should know Lee Pockris wrote Johnny Angel. He wrote, so many other...
Hilliard?
And Bob Hilliard wrote...
He wrote in the 40s.
He wrote with Burt Bacharach, actually. He was his co-writer on a lot of songs. But Lee Pockris was really a giant writer. He wrote Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. And about 10 years ago, he had a stroke, has not been doing well physically, but still mentally all there, and has really written some of the great pop standards. He wrote Johnny Angel in one night with this guy named Lynn Duddy. It was during a blackout. There was a blackout in New York City, and they didn't know what to do. They had to get up to, they were stuck in a penthouse apartment. They couldn't get downstairs. They couldn't go anywhere. So they said, let's write a song. The only time they ever wrote a song together, and it went straight to number one. So anyway, Lee Pockris is a great guy. And go ahead. So
Well, anyway, I did this song for them, and they brought it to Carlton Records, who had Merv Griffin on the time on the label. And that song, believe it or not, Seven Little Girls Sitting in the Back Seat, Kissing and a Hugging with Fred, was meant for Merv.
Like a coconuts, like
strange.
a lovely bunch of
Yes.
coconuts.
Well, they turned it down, of course, and Carlton said, "No, I want somebody younger. I want to make a rock and roll star out of somebody." And I raised my hand, so that'd be
Yeah,
okay.
how did you feel about actually recording a song that wasn't yours? And
I just didn't care. I was there originally as a singer. Mm-hmm. That was my gig, and I became a writer.
did you like that song?
Did I like it?
Yeah.
It went to number
Well,
4. I loved it. Are
The
you?
day that they gave it to you, did you like it?
Yes, it was fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, I had the two girls backing me up. They were called the Curls.
Oh, yeah.
They were singers with the Ray Charles Choir.
Mm-hmm.
They did a lot of television shows. And not Ray Charles. This is the joke. It's mean, but the joke was it's not the blind Ray Charles. It was the deaf Ray Charles. Right. I can't. That was the joke.
That's true.
And
And he's still alive,
And he is still alive.
92 years old.
But the girls were not really rockers. They did more classical style of music, choral music. So the label decided after this one record was Paul Evans and the Curls, they decided they wanted a teenage star. It was too late. I was 21, but they wanted a teenage star, and I resembled at least a teenage star. So they made Paul Evans a star, and I had 3 big hits with them. Did not get paid very well. Had to sue to get off the label. But that's the way it was then, There was no shame by the record company owners. They stole your money. And when you complained, they said, hey, that's the way the business is done. I'm sure you girls had the same experience.
And it's the true of the distributors, too, because you couldn't get paid.
There's a pecking order. Wherever records go, by the shop, by the dealers, by the record company, by the publishers, and then by the writers and singers. And the writers and singers are the last ones to be stolen from.
Right.
And they're stolen from a decreasing list of money. The money gets stolen at the top, stolen here, and here's a little bit left for the singers and writers. That's true. Sad, but true.
We move to Roses of Red.
Stewie.
Paul, you have written a lot of songs. Did you save somebody's career with a song called Roses? Yeah.
I can do that. I had a song that I wrote, and it was I wrote it in 61, and I wanted to show it to somebody at Epic Records, so we went up to Epic Records with this demo of the song, and they had an artist who had one more shot on the label, and they really believed in, and they said, I'm sorry, we'd like to do it with him and not with you, Paul. I was unhappy at first, but this guy sold millions and millions of records. It was Roses Are Red, My Love, and that was Bobby Vinton's first big hit. So, and I love that song too, Stu. I mean,
Would you be willing to sing it today for us? Would you like to hear him do it?
Yes.
Want to do it? Sure. Yeah, let's do it. Paul Evans, Roses Are Red. Yes.
I need a mic.
We're going to give it a shot.
Yes, give it a shot.
It was a big hit for Bobby Vinton, but here's the man who wrote it.
Okay.
Without my...
Unrehearsed? Could be a disaster. Give me a D chord.
sounds a hair better than last year, this piano.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a D?
Oh,
A D.
Which number?
Okay. A long, long time ago, on graduation day, you handed me your book, and I signed this way: roses are red, my love, and violets are blue. Sugar is sweet, my love, but not as sweet as you. We dated through high school, and when the big day came, you handed me your book, and I signed this way: roses are red, my love, and violets are blue. Sugar is sweet, my love, but not as sweet as you. Then I went far away, and you found someone new. I read your letter, dear, and I wrote back to you. Roses are red, my love, and violets are blue. Sugar is sweet, my love. Good luck, may God bless you. Is that your little girl? She looks a lot like you. Someday some boy will write in her book too. Roses are red, my love, and violets are blue. Sugar is sweet, my love, but not as sweet as you. Roses are red. Thank you very much. Thank you for singing along. Thank you. Thanks, Brian.
Very nice, guys.
Paul Evans. All right, and the Curls. That's right, the Curls are singing there.
Oh, no, he's got the mic.
I have a big surprise.
say one thing.
Yeah, you want to say?
I just want to say one thing. There's something about being a singer, it's great. I love to sing Roses Are Red. If I don't make somebody cry somewhere with that one line, is that your little girl? But I love it as a writer when these songs, when the audience sings back, and I thank you very much. It's electric. There's just no two ways about it. It is electric. Thank you.